Alright, so slowly but surely I am getting through all of my guns and everything. So, let's see. Do I do the shotgun or the rifle? I'm gonna go with the shotgun. This one is gonna be a little shorter of a video. I can't even fit the whole rifle in this. There we go. Boom. This is the APS cam870 CO2 powered shell ejecting, pretty much true shotgun. There's no inner barrel. You load up each shell like you would a real shotgun, pretty much. You put a wad in there. Well, first you fill it up with gas. Put the wad in, your BBs or whatever you're shooting in there, and then you put the cap on and run it in the gun. This is a little weirder to run in a field because you have shell ejecting. Obviously you don't want to lose these are expensive per shell. The original Mach 1 shells are actually pretty cheap now. You get a 4-pack for about 20 bucks. These smart shells though, on the other hand, are about 40 bucks for a pack of 4. Smart shells obviously are easier to load. If you know anything about the cam870 shotguns, then you know that to load the original shells you have to put them in a fixture and pop it down or something and fill it up and all that. The smart shells are easier because, one, you don't need that complicated device. What you need is the smart shell adapter, or pretty much this is an 88 gram CO2 adapter. It comes with the Mach 2 870. It just pretty much is how you fill up the bolt. You just stick it in the bolt, fill it up. These will also fill up your smart shells, so sort of a 2-in-1, I guess. This is set up right now as a Mach 2. I still have the Mach 2 bolt in here. I am waiting for the Mach 1 bolt to come in. I had a hiccup with shipping from China. Got lost. Thankfully, the customer service from the guy I bought it from, he is sending me a new one express once he gets the new shipment from APS of the Mach 1 shells, or the standard Mach 1 bolt. So once I get that, I'll actually finally be able to use it. I've shot a few of these. What I've done is I just took the barrel off the gun, put them in here, and pressed the valve release with a pin, and the power difference is amazing. I'll have a video of that. It's pretty much almost a side-by-side comparison between the Mach 2 and then the Mach 1 shell system, both using the same gas. So a little bit about this. Real wood furniture on this one. They have a few models. They have like a police model, which doesn't have the extender on here. Polymer forend polymer stock. You got, I believe, a tactical, which has like an M4 style stock and the pistol grip, and they have different barrel lengths. They have even a really short one that holds only like 3 shells for like a little sidearm. But yeah, this is a pretty cool. Actually, second day I got this, something broke in it, and I was mad because the only way to really fix this was to buy a whole new receiver. What happened is, inside of here there's a little spring, and that spring is the ejector. Now this right here, the silver part, let me see if I can bring it in. This silver part here, this little lever, it's not the ejector, it's the extractor. This is what actually grabs on to the lip of the shell and extracts it from the chamber. The spring in here is the ejector, and that's what actually kind of helps push the shell once it comes back out of the receiver. Without the ejector, you might be able to get, without the ejector, you might be able to get the shells to kind of pop out a little bit, but most of the time without the ejector, the shell is just going to sit in there and jam up when you try to rack it forward. So what happened was that the spring is held into place by a rivet. It's kind of complex. Here, let me try to bring you in a little bit. So inside there you see that little silver round that is a screw actually from one of my RC cars. That is where one of the rivets is, and on the back end, if you can see, is the other end of the screw with a bolt with a nut on it. So you can see there's two pins. There's one here, one here. This is the pin or the rivet that broke, which allowed the ejector spring right here, if I can show you a little bit. That's what broke off. This whole assembly right here, as you can see, it's like a little C channel with the spring inside of it. That's riveted in with those two rivets. Now, unfortunately, the front one broke off, so the spring was able to fall off. So I punched the whole rivet out, put a screw in, tightened it, and it's been working for weeks now. So if that ever happens to you, don't be afraid. You don't have to buy a whole new receiver. Let's see if I can remember correctly. I used M2 nut and bolt. That is basically a 2mm bolt and nut. Very small, but fits perfectly. That's literally, you don't have to really be doing any drilling or anything like that. The only cutting you're gonna have to do actually is pretty much cutting the screw down so it's not too long and stick too much out, so you can have it flush with the receiver. You barely feel it when I run my finger over it. But yeah, other than that, you might need to punch out the old rivet out fully, and then you just put the extractor back in, pop the bolt through, and then the nut on the other side, and just tighten it down. I had no issues with it so far. Quick, easy fix actually. I'm very happy that I was able to do that. Second thing I've done to this, pretty much the last thing I've done to this, was put some fiber optic night sights on here. Well, not really night sights, but just fiber optic sights. These are actually Remington Remington 870 sights, and they pretty much fit directly on to the rifle with pretty much no modification. The only thing I actually had to do was the old Magnum sights, the rear one, the base. Let me see if I'll pull you on again. This gun's so big I can't do it. So right here, the rear one, you have a plate back here with a little flathead screw. This is your elevation. So you move this up and down to get your elevation. Then this top part moves side to side with loosening this bolt for windage side to side. So first thing you have to do is you take off the old sight. You take the top of the sight off, which was the old non-fiber optic. Take that off. Do whatever you want with it. Then you have to flip the sight, because this sight actually, the base for the elevation was on the other way. Reverse it so that hump where the screw is towards the rear. And then I also filed the top of it down because there was some sort of bump in it, so I just filed it down smooth so it would fit on, bolts right on, and that's pretty much what I did. And for the front, let me get this down here. For the front of the original sight, there was a little hole in like the middle with a really small grub screw. Basically undo that, and then you can push the old sight out. Well, the new sight didn't have a hole for a grub screw, so I just pretty much epoxied it into place. If I really need to get this out, I can pretty sure if I just hammer it out, it'll come out. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So, like I said, I'm pretty sure most actual Remington 870 parts, talking externally here, will work in this, or work on this technically. I know fore ends, stocks, even Picatinny rail systems or shell holders on the side will work. Most of those go through the actual trigger holes right here. This trigger assembly is held in by these two pins. So usually with these sights, it goes over the body, and then has two pins that go, well, aftermarket pins that go through, so you can hold the new either side saddle on it or rail system or whatever. Those are within pretty close tolerances. You might have to open up some holes in certain ways to get the pins to exactly line up, but nothing too major. What else will work? Externally wise, that's I think about it. Obviously, a lot of stuff you can fit if you have the right knowledge and the right know-how and the right tools to do so. You can pretty much make anything fit on anything. But yeah, this is the APS cam870 Mach 2. Yeah, this gun, I haven't been able to use it too much, like I said, because it's still in the Mach 2 configuration. I'm waiting and waiting and waiting for that Mach 1 bolt to come in so I can finally use it. I've shot it a few times with the Mach 2 version where the gas comes out the bolt and it's just weak. There's times with actual wad that's behind the BBs won't even clear the barrel. So you'll shoot your first load and the wad will be stuck in the barrel. You'll hear BBs come out, you'll see BBs come out, and you're like, okay, everything's good. And then once you shoot the second load, you'll see 2 wads come out, and you're like, okay, that's a little bit weird. So yeah, with the Mach 1 type smart shells or the regular Mach 1 shells, this thing is a beast. This thing has power, and it is a lot better. So that's why I haven't really used this much, because I'm still waiting for the Mach 1 bolt to come, which hopefully comes soon, because I am really waiting to actually use this. But yeah, that is the APS cam870, and I believe the next and last review will be of my GMP M4. So have a good day, guys.